Oh, right. We are in post-show. I have no idea what we're going to talk about, but we're in post-show. Go ahead.
I had one of the craziest dreams ever.
Was there sex involved?
No.
Okay, let's talk about something else. No.
Oh, no. This one it was really, really weird.
But there was no sex involved.
No, there isn't. But it's still kind of fucked up.
Okay, cool.
My mom's been giving me a lot of shit lately. Of
Okay.
course, I don't have kids, and I'm an atheist.
Oh.
And I'm open about that now with my family, and I do have family on
How
my
long
Facebook.
have you been open with your immediate family?
About a year and a half now, so it's very new still. So they're still very adjusting to it. They're still very, it's all my fault. I'm sure I grew up in a Catholic household in South Texas, so I'm Hispanic. My whole family.
Oh, they haven't done the. I really blame myself for not being a better Christian for you.
I really do think that they believe that and they feel guilty. So it's all their fault that I'm an atheist. Well, and Arturo's fault. It's totally his fault too, by the way. So.
Thank you, Arturo.
I've been having a lot of just randomly, like I'll talk to my mom about different things. My brother just had a niece. A little girl, so I have a niece, a brand new niece, which I love.
Yeah, he didn't have a niece.
You know, my sister-in-law had a little girl.
That'd be really weird.
Who's adorable and is amazing, but of course, you know, I'm 34 and I don't have kids, and I've been married for 10 years, and I have a job, so I'm like, oh, I'm doing everything wrong.
Those ovaries going to stop spitting out eggs eventually.
Exactly, like I'm getting
You've
old.
got like a year. You've
Yes.
got like a year.
Totally, the whole thing, I'm getting old and all that stuff. To where randomly my mom's just really, really angry at me, and I'm just like, what the fuck did I do? After Beach to Bay, I told her I ran Beach to Bay, and I was like so excited. And you know, she's in Houston with my niece, and she told me my priorities weren't right. And I'm like,
what? What does it have to do with that?
I'm like, what the fuck did I do? I'm healthy, kinda. I work out sometimes, and I drink a lot, and I eat healthy.
You ran a good distance?
I walked 10 miles that day. I walked 10 miles that day.
You're physically capable of doing activity for
I would
many
survive
hours.
in a zombie apocalypse, okay?
It depends on the zombies. If they're running zombies, you're screwed.
Yeah, if it's 28 days later, you're fucked.
I can shoot a gun, and I can stab somebody to death with my bare hands. I'm okay.
Well, all you got to do is just cut whoever's next to you. So.
Could stab someone to death with your bare hands.
Shut up, Trixie. Now you're gonna start talking, goddammit. Anyway, okay, so she's been like kind of randomly like just giving me like things like that, and I'm like, what the fuck? So recently,
This is your mom or your mother-in-law?
no, my mom.
Okay.
My mom. So I have a little bit of attitude. I think I get it from her. The whole potholes thing that we all talk about here. Well, that county road potholes that are on like the road that goes to my house where I grew up, with the measurements and everything.
Okay.
My mom posted on that picture, why don't we put the pictures of commissioners on top of the potholes so that they'll realize.
That's a really good idea.
Exactly. This is my mom. So she's that kind of asshole too. This is where I get it from.
It's not a bad idea, actually.
Okay. So, you know, all these things, whatever. So I have a dream 2 nights ago that I have. This is so ghetto at the same time. Black tattooed, like just around the top of my lips. Just like the hardcore black, like the way like cholas kind of do that stuff.
Wait.
Were your eyebrows as well?
No, just
the lips.
Just the lips. I know.
You did
It's a
what?
dream. It's a dream.
Oh, it's a dream.
In a
Okay.
dream.
Okay, sorry.
Like black tattooed.
I was like, I don't see anything.
No. I know it sounds crazy. So it's like black tattoo, like around the top of my lips. And then on this side of my lip, can't see it. One side says fuck, the other side says you. And I'm around my parents. And my mom.
How does mommy offer? Think about this.
Garcia, mama.
Whatever. Yeah.
But they're just like.
You are property of your husband now, just so you know.
Shit. Okay. So they're just like, what does that say on your mouth? And I'm like, oh, nothing. It scribbles. To where I'm still,
It scribbles.
to where I'm still like, oh shit, you know, because it's my parents that are giving me shit for like no fucking reason. Because I think I'm pretty all right. You know, I'm doing okay.
I think you're pretty all right.
How does everyone?
So it's.
How is everyone's relationship with their parents in terms of their atheism? Is everyone out? Are you out, Red?
I haven't like spoken it into the universe, or like, Mom, I'm an atheist. But every time like a religious, conversation comes up, I'm always highly critical of religion.
Yeah.
So you're not out. is what
Not
you're telling
super
me.
out, no.
No. Okay. How about you?
Oh, I'm
Brian?
so out.
Okay. Me too. I'm like, my entire family talks about me in relation to that sort of thing.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, if my mom finds out through the show somehow, whatever, because she uses the internet, I'm like, it wouldn't be a big deal, but like, I haven't found it, necessary to be like,
Sure.
Mom, I'm an atheist, deal with it.
Well, no, it was an accident when I came out,
Yeah.
and my parents.
Wait, how is it an accident?
Because I was having lunch with my parents about a year and a half ago, and I was talking about doing a lot of volunteer work with CCA and like the glass recycling and the guerrilla gardening and random things, and they were like, "Why are you doing so much community
Volunteer
service?
stuff,
Yeah, why are you doing that? Do you have to do community service? Is it court ordered?" And I was like, "No, I've been hanging out, with the Corpus Christi Atheists." And then I paused,
Like you do.
and then she was like, "So you're an atheist?" And I was like,
And they're like,
Oh.
"Yeah." My dad was kind of like, And then that night, I like text both my brothers. I have an older brother and a younger brother. And my little brother was like, "Why are you trying to kill Dad?" I'm like,
Oh,
I'm
that's
like,
not cool.
I'm not trying to kill anybody. So it's just been a long. They love me very much. I mean, we're still invited to every single holiday. It's no big deal.
Every single holiday? Are you sure?
Yes, Easter. I mean, we spent
the
There's
ones
no-
they tell you about.
Right,
like,
exactly.
the
that's
big
what I mean.
ones. We spent Easter with my family. We didn't spend Christmas with the family. They invited us, but we decided we didn't want to go, so we didn't, and they didn't care. We spent Thanksgiving with the family. My birthday's a big deal. just hanging out with them is fine, but it's still always these little fucked up jabs that I'm just like, God damn it, just stop. Like, you're not gonna change my mind. Like, it's not gonna happen. So I think that's where like the whole
It's like we torment her enough.
yeah,
Maybe she'll finally
she's
get
gonna
it.
and the kid thing, like, oh, I gotta have a kid, And I'm just like,
Well, I don't know. Like my mom's
I
kind of
don't
the
know.
same way about me and like not having like a girlfriend or having kids and everything. It's like, well, you're almost 30, It's like, Mom, I can have kids until I'm 80.
yeah, it's-
Never you mind that, Mom.
Not this one though. She's got 1 year left on her shelf life, and then seriously, in 1 year you are advanced age mother. So my wife was so upset when they told her that.
that's awful.
Yeah, because we got pregnant when she was 35 for the second time,
Okay.
and she was like,
I mean, because biologically, the female body has a chance to create more like genetic defects in children at that age.
yeah.
Or something, right?
So at 35 is when there's this huge straight up line between normal kids, normal kids, normal kids.
5 fingers.
You're
or
so
something.
you're so fucked.
Yeah. And then,
Normal kids have 5 fingers.
5 fingers total. 5 fingers total.
Only on one end.
You know what makes me so happy about that is like I was like, oh yeah, those freaks with 5 fingers. Like, oh yeah, those motherfuckers.
Are we on The Simpsons where everybody's got 4 fingers?
Nobody wants that. Come on now.
Oh, that's so great.
So I don't know. It's just a thing because I'm still new out. Probably
Yeah.
always was. And so it's a huge. And even like my cousin's having a graduation party. She's graduating from high school. Friday night, she's having a party. My mom was like, "It's at your church if you want to go." And I'm like, "What's the big deal? We're gonna go drink at the church then."
This is
So
that reminds me because I've kind of entered a new phase in my atheism with my family. Is that they've stopped asking me to go to things like baptisms. Like the last 3, I haven't. No one has even asked me, and it only occurred to me because my sister just had a child. Or no. My sister's about to have a child. I don't know what the fuck my family does. She's about to have a child. She's about to have a daughter, and when I was in San Antonio a few weeks ago, she said, "Oh, we're gonna have a baptism on this day if you're interested in coming." And I was like, I like looked at her like, because it's weird because like
Well, after a couple kids, I mean, who gives a shit after that? I mean,
but I looked at her for a second because I was like, oh, because previously I was like, of course I'm gonna go. It's like a family event or whatever. And I was like, I'm actually not at all interested. So there's no part of the baptism process that I think is important or valid or a thing that I should attend.
well, it's good
even
for
though-
like determining like the godparents, and
I'm sure I'm gonna get picked for godparents, by the way.
and sometimes I mean
That's what I'm saying.
if the parents die, that's who's supposed to take the kid.
Yeah,
out,
but that's
you know, I
the
mean.
godparents they're not legally binding.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's true, it's not.
the court's gonna be like, no, those 2 crackheads can't have your baby.
But that's something I'm gonna have to deal with soon because I mean my niece is now a month, and so I'm sure they're gonna do it even though they didn't get married through a church. And my brother's Catholic, and my sister-in-law is Baptist, so I don't know what they're gonna do, but I'm sure they're gonna do it. So it's just like I'm sure we're gonna get invited because they love us, but at the same time, it's like, do we really care? We're gonna go to after
Well,
party.
well,
and drink.
technically, you can't be a godparent anyhow. You have to be of the faith. to
Well,
be a
although I gotta
godparent.
say,
yeah.
I know plenty of atheist godparents.
Oh, yeah.
See, that's really true. I have
Technically,
a really good friend who.
Yeah, no, I mean it's one of those things like
No,
even
but
like
it's true.
Jim Jeffries has this thing where this bit he's an atheist comedian and he has this bit where he's talking about like his family members saying, "Hey, will you be the godparent of my children?" He's like, "Sure." And he's like, you go up there and the priest says, "Will you promise to
guide this child
guide
in
this
his
child?"
faith and grow him
And he's
into
like,
a.
Sure. I mean, it's great. I mean, that's exactly what I would do.
It's just that's what you do. To where we've
Right.
been passed over just because we weren't married through the church and we're not Catholics. To where we would be like two kids' godparents or whatever because I fucking love these kids. But at the same time, they were like, we can't because we don't know that many people that are actually married through a Catholic church.
Mhm.
So the same people that are godparents for their first kid, are the same people that are godparents for their second kid, because that's
Yeah.
the only ones that they could find. They
Everyone
could
else
actually
is a
do it
fucking-
through the church because they were doing it the right way through the church when it's like one couple.
Yeah, because technically, the godparent's supposed to be
Yeah.
there to guide the child spiritually, and everything. So
It's really weird. Oh.
You're the only couple that qualifies.
Yeah, exactly. To where it's like, that's it. It's you. And it's like, okay. But, yeah.
So here's an interesting fact. I am pretty sure that my daughter has been baptized and I was not present for it.
No way.
or they did it at school or something.
No. So my daughter was born 3
Or did they
months.
do the water sprinkle thing?
She was born 3 months premature, and so she was in the hospital for almost 3 months. And my mom is super Catholic.
Well, they came in to do like the last rites or something, or
Well,
Why
I
do you
don't
say
I don't
last
know.
rites?
well,
So
no, I mean for children, they do
No,
some sort
no.
of
They
last
didn't
rites
do the
thing
last
that's-
rites, but I assume. So here's what I was doing: is that they had a list of people who were allowed to go into the neonatal intensive care unit and visit your child while you're not there.
And your mom was.
And my mom's on that list. And
'Cause you're such
my
a good
wife's mom is on. Well, legitimately, because what you learn about infant biology is that there's actually a correlation between human contact and getting better. And so they do this thing called kangaroo care where you go in and they put the child in your shirt against your chest, mom, dad, whoever, and
Supposed
you
to
just
like
lay
help
there.
simulate the growth.
It's originated in South America, where they found that the children who were doing that, because they didn't have access to modern healthcare, were doing much better than the kids who weren't doing that. So this is like scientifically, skin to skin contact has a beneficial health result for those kids. So I was like, fuck yeah, I want to do this as much as possible. So like I go to work, Carolyn's there, my wife. I get home, she takes a break, I go in and do it. The nurses in the intensive care unit loved our daughter, so they're like, do you mind if we hold her while we're walking? It's like, no, please, as much as possible, please do that. So as many people as possible, we wanted to be in there, holding our child as much as possible.
Seems like a lot of work for a baby. Ugh.
It is. And it's like, I gotta tell you, man, it's so emotionally draining. It was so emotionally draining. But it occurred to me about halfway through, because, my mom had access and my mom's a crazy Christian, that I was like, she's gone in there and she's baptized my kid.
Sprinkle
Yeah.
water.
She sprinkled the water. Blah, blah, blah. And I decided just one day, like a couple months in, I was just going to test the theory. And because she was pressuring me, like every couple of days, she'd be like, you need to have her, because she might not make it. And you need to make sure that she's right with God.
Because she's committed so many sins already.
Yeah, right, exactly. She's in
That
there.
asshole.
She was all like splayed out and whoring in her isolette. Yeah, that was my daughter.
All that skin on skin contact. Oh, that whore.
So, a couple months into it, I turned to her and I said, "I know you already did it. I know you did," and like she just froze. And then she slowly smiled. And that was the end of it. I mean, she never confirmed it, but I was like, that's all the confirmation I need. That you fucking put water on my daughter because you're a fucking lunatic.
Dirty,
Because you
dirty
think your little
water.
your magic is going to work on this.
Is this like John the Baptist, can any random person baptize people?
Yeah.
Okay. I wasn't aware of that.
Luckily, it's a relatively harmless practice. It's not
Yeah,
something
that's what I'm
crazy
saying.
like, oh, you take this knife and stab into
Well-
its spine. Or, no. Like that would be shitty if that was like the thing they had to do to like babies who were born premature. It's like, oh man.
Heather keeps insisting she's going to baptize me post-mortem.
But that's she's just picking on you.
That's what the Mormons do, sort of.
Yeah,
so-
exactly.
Yeah. So, and I told her, I was like, I don't care because your witch doctory doesn't, it affects me not.
Your magic spell doesn't do anything.
I'm not concerned. I really, aside from the fact that it's very disrespectful, I don't care. It's like, you put water on my daughter. She's going to have water on her all the time. She's going to go swimming in the ocean. She's going to she's going to take baths and showers her entire life. This is no different.
I'm surprised like priests haven't gone like blessed oceans. It's like
Right.
all these spring
Anyone who's
breakers
in.
are getting baptized.
You're all Christians. You owe me 10%, motherfuckers. Everybody out of the
I'll
ocean.
bill you.
I think that's a good place to stop. Let's thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we will. Well, I won't. I will be in
No,
the chat
you
room
won't.
next week. It'll be awesome. So everyone come back next week. Heather will be here, and then these motherfuckers and Amanda Stevens will be here. So it'll be great.
Dream Team Yo.
Yep.
Whatever.
Oh,
I mean, if there were 5 people on the show, you would definitely be on there
Oh,
too.
great. Last guy on the totem pole. Thank you.
Ustreamer05596 says, I'm going to baptize Ryan with my beer when he walks out of the room. So
There you go.
careful, bro.
Game on.
See you guys next week. Well, I won't see you next week. We just did this.
We'll see you next week.
Bye.